Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Destroyer. And what you'll see is all of his skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, his skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I give you the class Destroyer. Here we go. And welcome to the skill slide. If you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of his skills. On the far right hand side is all the specials that go with those skills. And the column CD is the cooldown for each skill. And the column charges is how many times you can use that skill. Hits is how many times that skill will hit a creature or player's character in the game world. And then damage-PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And damage-PVP is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And of course, you have the passive at the bottom. So just a few things to tell you about. On the right hand side in specials, where it shows the word super armor in red, if you look to the bottom left corner, it just means it's not applied in arena. Everywhere else in the game it will work. And if you don't know what super armor is, don't worry. On the player card slide of this video, I have a definition for what that means at the bottom. So the other thing I wanted to tell you is on the far left hand side, you'll see that some skills are colored green, and all that is it connects to your passive at the bottom. So that's what that means. So take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, we will move on to the top 8 PvE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvE slide. What I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And the skill Funeral Blast is your highest damaging skill. So a few things to tell you about. One is, why is there a section colored green? That's because we can only take 8 skills into the game world at a time. And these are the ones that I recommend according to the damage percentage from top to bottom that they do. Now, you don't have to choose these. This is just a recommendation. Get the best damaging skills you can in there, and once you're comfortable with it, then try out the other ones like Slugfest, Hellraiser. The Iron Buster Mastery is just your basic attack, and definitely get your Carnal Rage in there when you get level 70, because that instantly activates your passive. But don't worry, you won't have to worry about your passive. I will go into detail about it in the PvP slide, which is coming up next. So take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. There is a lot to discuss on this slide, so let's go ahead and get right to the basics. I have organized all the skills according to the column of damage-PVP, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom, and Funeral Blast continues to be your highest damaging skill. Let me say that one more time. Funeral Blast. There we go. So the next thing I wanted to say is, everyone who does PvP always wants to know what skills are there to choose from that I can take into arena and not have to worry about what works and what doesn't. And I am pleased to tell you that Funeral Blast is not only your highest damaging one, but will give you the super armor that you need. So if you for some reason didn't want to choose that, you do have 2 others. You have one that is very special. It's called Firebomb, and it says, if you look over in the special section, super armor in arena. And what I'm taking from that is it only works in arena. So outside the game world may not work. you'll be the one to check that out. But that's neat. I've never seen a skill special be specific to just arena. So that's neat. Alright, and your third one is Hellraiser. So between the three of those, you have to choose from on what you want to use for super armor. And let's go ahead and move into explaining how your passive works. So what I'm going to do is read it first, and then we have a video to show you how it works and what it does, and then we'll come back and conclude with the PvP slide. So here we go. Your passive is called Overheat, and you use skills 3 times to enter the Overheat status for 15 seconds. Now, it used to be 10 seconds, but Pearl Abyss bumped that up to 15 seconds, so thank you very much. That was awesome. And here is what happens. For the additional effects, PvP damage received is minus 20%, and damage to monsters is increased to plus 15% to these specific skills. So you need to use these skills to get the monster damage. As far as the PvP damage received, it's just that you're in your passive. You don't need to use these skills to get negative 20%. That's what I take out of it. So, Slugfest, Bombardment, Firebomb, Funeral Blast, Flame Buster, ooh, I almost said that weird, and To the Grave are the skills that they want you to use to get that extra damage to monsters. And while you're in it, you know that you're getting minus 20% damage received for PvP when your passive is active. So what we're going to do now is move on to a video where I show you how the passive works. So let me go ahead and cue that up. Here we go. And here we are. So we're just going to move around with the camera and get it in a good angle here so we can illustrate our passive. And we're going to mess with these guys over here by the stairs. Now, the skills on the bottom right corner, the one that kind of looks like a foot, it's off by itself, that we're going to prove to you what the passive looks like. And then the remainder of these skills are the ones highlighted in green that get the bonus effect when your passive is active. So let's go ahead and do this. And one more time. And there you go. What happens is your gun arm is on fire, it's lit up, and it lets you know that your passive is active. And I did some checking, so it's on 3. When you do your first skill, second skill, and then the third skill should be the heavy hitting skill, it will take advantage of the damage boost. So what we're doing here is, I didn't know if the range was far enough, but you're gonna see you're gonna see damage into the 3000s because it has the damage boost applied. Normally, without the passive, the damage is in the 2000s. So we're gonna illustrate that a little bit more so you can see the numbers. Some are a little tough to see, but you'll see it. And it's also fun picking on these guys. And there you have it. So we're going to go ahead and head back to the PvP slide and go ahead and conclude that and move on with the video. Here we go. And welcome back to the PvP slide. So now you can understand why I said that comment, don't worry about your passive. I mean, you're using 3 skills technically 2 skills, and then your third skill is going to be that one that punches just really hard. However, if you want to take full advantage of how your passive works, get your character up to level 70 and unlock Carnal Rage. That not only heals you, but it activates your passive for 10 seconds. So between your Carnal Rage skill and just doing 3 skills to activate the passive 2, you can almost have this thing going all the time. I mean, you can see how it can, if you time it right, you can 3 hit. Oh, then I'm going to use Carnal Rage and get 10 more seconds out of it. So that's what I'm thinking, and that is how nice this passive is. So take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the skill combo slide. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. Before we tell you how this works, let us tell you where you can find it. If you're in gameplay and you bring up the menu screen and you tap, you look all the way over to the right and you tap on the square that says skills, and now you're on the skills screen, and then you go to the middle and towards the bottom, and you'll see a magnifying glass with a circle around it, and it will say skill combos to the right of it. Tap on that, and now you're here. A window that says list of skill combos. However, that window is kind of small and isn't able to show you everything. You'll have to scroll up and down to see it. So what I've done is I've taken all of it and put it on one screen for you to enjoy. Now, you could print this out, but I highly recommend you do black and white and save yourself because it's a little color heavy. Or if you are on a computer playing this game with an emulator, you can have this on another monitor and enjoy it as well. So your call, but this is how it is presented to you to make it easy for you to practice these combos. Now, this is how it works. On the left hand side in blue are the skills that Pearl Abyss would want you to start with, and then it chains into the options you have in gray on the right side. So as an example, if you look at the top left corner for Firebomb, you do that skill and now you have an option to chain into Slugfest, To the Grave, Flamebuster, Tectonic Rift, or Funeral Blast. Your choice, and that is the basics of how this works. Now, looking at this, I have a 4-hit combo for you, but really it could be a 5-hit combo, so I'll just go in and tell you that. It would start with Evasion. Evade is the bottom right corner. You have like 4 evades that you can do. So you'd start with that in blue in the right hand side, and you would move on to, let me see if I got this. Oh yes, Firebomb. So Evasion to Firebomb. Now look to the left side of the screen where it says Firebomb in blue. Firebomb to Slugfest. And now go down, same column, to Slugfest in blue. And Slugfest to Flamebuster. And the next one down in blue is Flamebuster to end in Funeral Blast. So there's your 5 skills. Once again, Evasion, Firebomb, Slugfest, Flamebuster, and Funeral Blast. And you can start it all over again with Evasion. That is an example of how you read this and how to do the combos. But ultimately, getting comfortable with how every skill works for your destroyer would be your goal. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide called the Enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome to the Enhancement slide. If you are new to this slide, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of his skills. On the far right hand side is all the branch damage connected to those skills. And in the middle is 4 columns. The first one, the second one, and the fourth one are things that benefit your destroyer. The third column, I try to make things that happen to the creature or the player's character you are fighting. So, now that you have that, let me go over a few things. One is, if you look at Slugfest at the very top and look all the way over to the right where it says heal, 85 HP per hit, the word heal is colored differently. That means it will not work in Path of Glory. So just be aware that it will anywhere else. Now, you're gonna ask the general question of what are enhancements and where can I find them? If you go back to the skills screen, during gameplay, menu, tap on skills, now you're there. And you tap on one of the skills, you'll see the icon for it in the middle, and you'll see these other circles that are around it. Those are enhancements. And if you tap on them, you will see each of the enhancements that you can unlock for that skill. Now you do need to unlock all of these enhancements, so I kind of wanted you to get excited and see, oh, I want to unlock that first. For example, let's take the very first one, Slugfest. There's a thing called Flow. It's another skill on top of Slugfest that does 100% more damage. It gives you an additional attack, but the HP recovery in that skill is not applied. So how you unlock these enhancements is you just fight creatures in the world of Elion or Hadum, and you will get these books, and those are skill books. So you pay some silver to learn them, and you're increasing the level of your skill. So Slugfest, if you read a book, oh look, it's now at level 1, and you go back to that skill and look at, wow, what is there a red number next to one of those enhancements? For that flow for Slugfest, it says number 2. So I'm guessing here, but you might need 2, maybe 3 skill books for Slugfest to get the skill up to level 2, to unlock and pay some silver to unlock it and learn it. And congratulations, that's how this works. And you now have flow that will occur every time you use the Slugfest skill. So it's encouraged that you unlock everything. Get them all the way up to level 10. It will take some time. Trust me, it will take time. But you're leveling up your character. You're learning these skill books along the way because you're going to fight the creatures. And when you get to Hadum, you'll see that the quality of the skill books are a little better and will help you get there a little bit faster. So take a moment to look at all this. And when you're ready, we're going to move on to the next slide called the player card. Here we go. And welcome to the player card. It is like a baseball card. It is all of the slides you saw previously, all combined onto one slide for you to print out, probably black and white again, because it's very color heavy, or have it on another monitor. But people who are very comfortable and familiar with my character profile videos, and they're interested in a new character, they'll come right here to the player card, print it out, take a look at it, and then when they want to understand all the details behind the character, they'll come back and listen to the entire video and get those details. But here is everything that you would want to know about the character all on one screen, and there's something new. So let me tell you about the interface. At the top is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommended, and to the right is something new. It's called Immobilization. Anytime that one of your skills knocks a creature or player's character up in the air, knocks them back, or knocks them down, they need to spend time in animation to get back up and get ready to fight again. This is immobilizing the creature or player's character, and you really want to do this when possible. So, in that section, Green means you have an immobilization, and the next column is how many of those do you have. Let's take Slugfest for example. It says there's 2, so let's go down to skills, look at Slugfest, and look all the way over to the right where it says specials. It does super armor. Oh, there it is. Daze on first hit and knock up on the last hit. So those 2 are immobilizations, and pulls the enemy closer and recover HP of flow, X-Flow Strike. So, but the immobilizations are the daze and the knockup. So why is this important? I will explain as we get to the bottom of this slide. So we just got through talking about enhancements, so that is below that. And then there's a legend for what's not applied in Path of Glory and what's not applied in Arena, which is red. And now we come to the definitions for forward guard and super armor. And since I don't believe I saw forward guard with our destroyer here, I'll just generally say it. Forward guard, this means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. Now, since he doesn't have it, it's okay. If you want to know more, I'd be happy to explain it, or I have it in another video where the character does have forward guard and I give a more detailed example of what that means. But let's go ahead and move on to super armor. This means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. So here we go. Why mobilization is so important is because if you're in a one-on-one fight and you are doing as many skills as you have, like almost all of them except for your heal, which is Carnal Rage, and Iron Buster Mastery, which is just a general attack, everything else has an immobilization. So throw as many skills as you can at your opponent, and when that moment happens where their super armor is not active and you see them fall on the ground, you got them. Now you can get in an extra attack, maybe 2, and that could turn the tide of the PvP battle that you're having. This is why that section is important. So take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, the music is gonna change and we will move into the gameplay section where we show you what the destroyer can do. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. Before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we are at Kron Castle entrance, and we are here because we love it here. Their CP is 2519, and for the first time, our CP is 2369. I am not worried at all. So the way this works is we will use this auto path, and he will fight for about 2, maybe 3 minutes. Then we'll go to town. I will give my outro and say thank you. So, without further ado, I am pleased to present to you Destroyer. Here we go. it's just about time for us to head back to town. There we go. And while the loading screen is coming up, allow me to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, let people know. I am always making more videos, and there are so many more videos left to do. So what we're going to do now is just move the camera around and put our destroyer in a very good pose. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. And we always have our characters give a wave. That was pretty quick. Well, let's try something else. How about a clap? There we go. So once again, let me say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video, and you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye now.